The thing. Okay. Hello, everybody. Good morning. So today we've got the pendulum swinging the other way. Throughout the rest of the week, we get the pendulum swinging toward intensity. Today we got the pendulum swinging toward recovery. Very, very, very important. Everyone goes, oh, I have to work really hard in order to get fitter, right? We'll also have to rest really hard. That's really important. To the extent you stress your body, you also have to emphasize rest, recovery, etc. So that's what today is all about. So let's come on. I always like to start kind of in an all fours position. It's a very nice position for the spine in particular. Just gives that spine some real chance to just relax. So just find a moment or find a position. Feel that the spine can just relax. Now, for most people, that's going to be in a kind of arched position, right? Gravity is going to bring the ribs and the belly down toward the ground. Just so you can find a relaxed position, right? We're not actively arching the back, we're just allowing it to fall into this easy position. Good. And then let's just do this. Just sink back a few times toward the heels and just see if you can see what happens naturally in the spine when you sit back toward the heel. And I am going to pause. You sit back toward the heels, spine is kind of rounding up action. Just a little bit, right? So here we have a kind of arch, right? And then there we sit back, you want to put it right. Maybe not feeling that just yet, but just see if you can see how you work with this. Now, take your feet, and point them out. Tops of your feet are on the floor. And then slowly raise them up the other way so that the balls of the feet, like the rudder, are on the floor. Right? And alternate between those two positions. And see again if you can notice what happens in the spine. And you do this kind of point flex actions or any relationship to that arching and rounding position. Maybe you feel it, maybe you don't. I guess I would say when I point my feet, I tend to arch, and when I flex my feet, I tend to round. That's the case with you. That's the case with me. Okay, so pause, put your feet in a nice neutral position, and sit back toward the heels, and just begin very gently a little left-right shift of the hips, one side to the other. And just get into the glutes. Feel how they stretch out as you do that. Give yourself a real chance to stretch across that wide expanse of that muscle, right? Go to the side, and then you can kind of arc down the pelvis toward the heel, and the whole sheet, the large sheet of that old butt muscle is going to get a really nice stretch across that pelvic bones. It's kind of nice. I think. All right, good. So good. That's nice. We got that going. Good. Now, go ahead and once again begin an arching rounding kind of thing. And just see where that is. So again, I've been kind of working with a little bit of back pain. So I'm just going to be super aware of where and how my back starts to resist it all. Right? If I start to feel like that's too much, it's too far, I'm not going to go into that range. It might be just right in the middle where I feel okay. Turns out I feel a little something when I go into an arch, so I'm going to stop there. And then I would say, actually, sorry, when I go to the round, a slight, so kind of the middle feels pretty good. The extremes feel a little bit off, which is pretty good. So take the hands, bring them forward, okay? Close together, about a hand width between. Go ahead and sit down between and bring the head between the arms, and you get a really nice stretch along your lats. So enjoy that. Right, those lats, they're always working hard during those rows and other things. You're giving those lats a nice chance to rest here and to stretch. So actively extend your fingertips out one hand and then actively out the other hand. Go ahead and give yourself some real length through there. That's nice. Okay, very nice. Let's take our time to come onto the back. All right, so bring the feet close in to the butt. Bring the arms out to the side, and just take a moment to enjoy that restfulness here. Friday morning. Things are just, you got a weekend coming up. Now, like this, take the pelvis. We got this. In fact, take your hands and put them on your pelvis, right? On the ilia, the bones on the outside of the pelvis. So not here at the waist, but at the bony portions, the biggest bone in the body. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is think about tipping. Pretend that the pelvis is like a pitcher or something, a pitcher of water, and you're going to pour the pitcher. It's a little bit weird to make it more like this, but you're going to kind of tip the pelvis in this direction, forward. Tip the pelvis forward, right? So everything else will kind of proceed from that. So tip the pelvis. You'll notice when you do that the lower back raises off the floor a little bit, and then bring it back. Pelvis goes forward. Pelvis goes a little bit back. Now, what I want you to acknowledge or notice is what happens to the head when the pelvis goes forward and back. And I'm putting my hand on my forehead so I can be even more aware of that, right? But even without my doing anything, if I tip my pelvis forward, my head is going, my chin is going to go toward my chest, right? And then the opposite happens when I tilt the pelvis back. My chin is moving away from my chest, and it's like I'm looking up and back. So feel that connection between the pelvis moving and the approach just flew right overhead. The pelvis moving and the head, right? They're really doing the same thing, right? I tip the pelvis this way, the head tilts this way. I tip the pelvis forward, the head goes forward. So feel those connections, right? Now, why is this important? Why would we spend any time doing this? The reason is that a lot of people have a lot of what's called parasitic tension. They have a lot of extra stuff going on in the spine or the neck that prevents the head from finding this easy connection with the movement of the pelvis, right? Do it a little faster, and you'll really be able to feel how the head moves. Good. Right? So it's almost like a little kind of rocking action. Nod the pelvis and nod the head. Right? Bring the pelvis back. Bring the head back. Leave that alone. It's very good. So bring the arms out to the side. Pause for a moment. See how you breathe today. All right. Let's take the right hand. Okay. Now, people have a very hard time understanding this direction. Okay. So if you have to look at the screen, that's fine. What I want you to do is put the right hand on the floor near your right shoulder in a position that resembles the yoga wheel, or if you're going to do a bridge, right? That's how you're going to place your hand on the floor. So what do? You can take the fingertips and extend the arms overhead. Take the fingertips as if you're holding a tray of martinis, like they're pointing up above your head, not to the ceiling, up above your head, right? Not straight up. Then you're going to bend your elbow. You're going to let those fingers come down toward the floor, right? And then right down. Now, not everyone can do that with their wrist. So I want you to find an orientation of the wrist. Not here, though. That's important. Somewhere in this area where that hand can go to the floor. Okay. Now, got that hand on the floor. We got the feet standing. Take hold of your right elbow with your left hand. What I want you to do is just mobilize this left shoulder while mobilize the right shoulder while keeping your right hand on the floor. So we're moving this around. We're moving the elbow around. And you'll feel that the shoulder blade, the right shoulder blade will really move. Yeah, it'll peel off the floor. Yeah. So let that happen. So see if you can even make like a circle with that right shoulder blade. Turn it down to the knees, up your head. The right hand stays on the floor the whole time. So how much, now look, if you let the right side of the pelvis come up the floor a little bit, then we can really get that shoulder blade mobilized. So see if you can do that. Move the right shoulder blade using the left hand on the right elbow. And let that movement tilt you, your whole self, over to the left side. Now when you do that, it's kind of cool. You can look underneath your right arm. So turn your head to the right as you do that. And look through the gap that is created by your right arm on the floor. Let your knees roll to your left. Nice, right? Kind of fun. Make sure you're moving slowly and easily. You're not overstretching anything. Now, eventually, you might be able to move the back of your head through the little gap created by your elbow. So keep looking up and over and let your head travel through the bridge gap formed by your arm and then come back again. Now, just do that a couple times to see if you can clarify that movement. I realize it's not the easiest instruction there. Push through that right hand. You'll roll yourself onto your left side. Keep your eyes on your right elbow and then let your head travel through the gap formed by. All right, come back to the center. And let's go ahead and extend and stretch out the right legs and just rest for a minute. We did a bunch of things from that right side. Now feel, as you're lying there, I have birds flying overhead. It's so nice to see birds flying overhead as you just lie on the floor. Feel how the right ribs are really open, right? A lot of real openness through that right, and feel how contacting, how heavy that right shoulder blade is on the floor. Looking for some real, you just feel, you don't have to make anything happen. Just feel how open that whole right side is. You probably feel the right side is like, pushed into the ground, right? And the left side is sort of doing its little tricks. So let's bend the legs. We'll do a couple things on the left side. So we got the legs bent. We're going to take the left hand. Now we're going to find that bridge position with the left hand. So point the fingertips upward. So it's like you've got the hand going stop, right? Time I say upward, people get confused. They're like, that must be upward. It's upward relative to you, your body. So upward along the plane of your body. That's where those fingertips are. So you got the palm facing toward the ceiling, and the fingers pointing upwards if you got a tray. Now, bend the elbow, let the hand travel down and find that bridge or wheel position. Right? Ideally, you want the fingertips now pointing toward your feet. It's a little hard to feel that, but you definitely don't. Some people do this. So this is right? That's not right. Okay. This is right, okay? Feel that difference, this versus this. It's a rotation, or this kind of thing, that's just not right, okay? You want the palm to go here, and you're just flying down, all right? So, I hope I've made that clear. Now, take your right hand, put it on your left elbow. Now, in the same way, take that little elbow for a little excursion around. So we're gonna go to the left, we're gonna go to the right, we're gonna go up, we're gonna go down. Now feel that when you do that, the left shoulder blade kind of peels off the ground. And then it's possible that naturally your knees will want to move toward the right. And if that happens, hey, there's no problem. That's kind of a good thing. But particularly feel when you move the left elbow upward, don't be upward toward the sky, be upward above your head. That you get some really nice openness in the rib in a different kind of way. As you do that, let the knees travel to the right. Keep your eyes on the inside of your elbow, and you'll feel, oh my goodness, my head can very simply travel through the gap formed by my arm. Knees go to the right. Back of my head travels through the gap until I'm reaching up or I'm looking up and out underneath my arm, and then go. Now, as you do that, if you found the movement, see how simply and easily you can accomplish the movement. Not with a lot of strain, not with a lot of effort, but with a lot of ease. And just feel the ribs opening up right there, right there. The ribs open, the head goes back. The ribs continue. It's all about the ribs, as often is the case. It's all about those ribs. When I go to the right, the ribs, if the ribs open up, my head will travel quite easily through my hand, underneath my arm. If they're not, they won't. All right, let's leave it alone. Let's take the arms down to the side. Let's take a little pause. Nice. Let's extend the legs out. And we're in what many people call the hardest yoga pose of all, Savasana. Surrender. Can we surrender? I'm mixing my modalities here. We're doing Feldenkrais, we're doing Savasana. What I'm calling Savasana. Just rest. I feel that the two sides equal out. Roll the head left and right. See how that little simple action is living in your body right now. I would say that from my perspective, my head is traveling. All right, now, good job. Let's go ahead and bend the legs again. Let's take the hands. Let's interlace them non-habitually. In other words, so if you're, it always takes me forever to explain this. If when I usually clasp my hands, my left fingers are above my right, so my left thumb's on top of my right, and same all the way down to the other fingers. I'm going to switch that over so that my right fingers are above my left. Okay? All the fingers are interlaced like that. So it is non-habitual interlacing of the hands. Now, take the hands and slide them underneath your head. Now, just take a moment to fully rest your head in your hands. Now, if you do it well, you should feel your jaw relax. You should feel the jaw release down. Now, take your elbows and just lift them a little bit off the ground. Now, what I want you to do is use your arms and the palms of the heels of your hand to gently roll your head left and right. So I want you to roll your head with no effort from your actual neck muscle. So your arms and hands are doing good. And I was noticing that when I rolled to my left, I found that I worked a little bit too far. So I'm gonna, now notice that you want to go crazy slow. And I'm not saying anything because it takes a certain amount of focus to move slowly enough so you can be really conscious of whether and when the neck muscles inadvertently engage. Now, I'm in a place where when I roll my head to the right, that's not so good. My body resists a little bit. I really have to go slow and I really have to respect the boundaries. So I'd encourage you to find where your head wants to go and then decisively where it does not want to go. And respect those limits. Not push the head. Now, clasp the hands. Now, just a couple times, lift the elbows toward the ceiling, and now lift the head. Just a bit. Few times. Good. And then slowly, very gently take your hands out and gently lay your head back on the floor. Yeah. Bring your arms down your sides. Extend your legs out and come back to this surrender restful position. See how resting now. Now just roll your head to the left and right. See how that movement is coming. Okay, nice. So let's do this. I want you to come slowly over onto your front side. So what I don't want you to do is go, it's suddenly and fast. I want you to move slowly. So stand one of your feet, gently push through that foot, bring the knee over to the opposite side across your body, and that will sort of gently peel your pelvis off the ground, and it will roll you onto your opposite side. Then slowly find your way onto your belly. Okay? So here I am on my belly. I'm going to turn my face to my left. Let's have everyone turn your face to your left. So you're looking out toward your left side. Okay. Now, whatever you need to do for that to be comfortable is good. So if you need a pillow or something underneath your head, that's fine. Now, I'm going to take my left hand and I'll put it underneath my right cheek, right? So my hands actually, let's do it like this. The hands we stack underneath you. Your head will be turned to the left. Now we're breathing gently. Now, what I want you to do here is lift your left elbow off the floor a couple of times. So I'm feeling, again, my neck is a little janky, so I'm going to just adjust a little bit. So whatever you need to do to feel good with that, lift your left elbow off the floor with minimal effort. Sorry, my voice is getting a little bit garbled here. Kind of talking into my head. All right, good. Now I'm going to lift my head a little bit. Minimal effort, as if looking over my left shoulder. And then I'm going to place my head back down fully. Then we'll look over left shoulder. Place head back down. Look over left shoulder. Place it back down. All right, rest. And now lift your left hand and your elbow and your head a couple times off the floor. Small amount, working gently. Again, my neck is not so good turning to the left, so I'm going to modify. I'm going to turn my forehead towards the ground. See how that feels, and that's much better for me. So the general direction is turn your head to the left and lift like that. But again, I'm going to modify, and I'm going to encourage anyone to do the same if you need to. Now, relax the upper body, and a couple times lift the right leg off the foot. Not just the foot, not just bending at the knee, but lifting at the hip joint. So the whole leg lifts off the ground. Now take your time when you do that. See if you can feel which parts of your back come to life when you do that movement. All right, rest. And now come back to that movement of lifting your hand, your elbow, and your head off the floor. See if it's simpler. See if it's lighter. See if it's easier to lift it further up. Now lift your right leg and your left hand and your elbow and your head off the floor at the same time. Gently. Good. All right. Stay where you are. I'm going to come to the opposite position. I'm just going to split myself around, but I'm going to have you guys stay where you are. Because now you're going to turn your head to your left. And place your hand on the back of your right. Place your head, your left cheek on the back of your right hand. Pause there for a moment. Lift your right elbow. A couple of times off the floor. See if you can do it in a way that you can feel how your back accomplishes that. Which muscles allow that to happen? All right, good. Now, lift your head, looking over your right shoulder. Rest fully between iterations of that. Don't rush it. Just like you were doing when you were turning the head on your back, slowly. All right. Good. Now, lift your left leg off the floor. And feel, remember you're lifting from the hip joint, not just from the knee joint. And now, lift your right elbow and your head and your hand, right hand, off the floor. And now do everything at once. The left leg, the right elbow, the right hand, and the head. Lifting off the floor. All right. Good. Come over onto your back again in whatever way that feels comfortable for you. And just be on the back for a moment. Ah, so nice. Feel that sense of surrender into the floor once again. So what I would like you to remark on here, or at least just notice, is now we have a new depth of surrender, a new level. Like we've gone down another level in the tension in the body. Right? So when we first lay down, we go, oh, I'm 100%, right? It's Friday morning. It's early, right? We haven't been up that long. We haven't had much chance to even generate much tension in the body, right? So what I want you to notice is even without having had a stressful day, without having done hard exercise, or sat at your desk and worried about your career or whatever, you're coming to the table with tension, right? Because look at how much tension we've been able to just ferret out and kind of reduce just with these easy movements. And I would say this is definitely true of me. I feel more easy on the floor than I did when we first started. The reason is that we have this parasitic tension. We have extra tension we don't need. It is keeping us from behaving and moving and going about our day with the most efficiency, right? And the least tension that's keeping us back. So we've managed to undo some of that. So anybody that doesn't come to this class and go, oh, I don't need that. I don't need relaxation. I don't need more efficiency. My friends, you do. All right. I'm talking to people who aren't here right now. So just how it goes. All right. So bend your knees and have your knees stand. Once again, take breaths. Let's come back to that movement of tilting the pelvis forward and back. Let the head come along. So the head's going to nod forward and tilt back in response. Now, Just do an easy movement where the right arm rolls up and the left arm rolls down and the head rolls toward your right head side. So the right arm rolls upward toward the thumb side, the left arm rolls down toward the thumb side that way. And then we're going to switch directions. Head rolls to the left, arms turn. The way. Head rolls to the right, arms turn. You'll notice your knees are probably going to do a little bit of shifting as well. That's cool. You like that? Head turns. Ah, that's nice. Head turns the other way. Arms turn. Oh, yes, yes, good time. Ribs open. Feels good. Go back the other way. Yes. Recovery, baby, is an excellent thing. That's very good. All right. Let's leave that alone. Now roll onto one side and let's go ahead and take all the time we need to come to a standing position. Oh, it's good. Someone else showed up. Who's that? It's Tamara. Tamara. Hello, Tamara. All right. So we're standing up. Let's spend the next 7 minutes doing just a couple easy standing drills. Now, so we spent all this time on the floor, just letting the body kind of do what it wants to do and finding its own kind of level, like water, right? Right? Water is, doing all this jumpy stuff, and then after a while it finds this kind of stillness. So we found this stillness. So observe for a moment what it's like to stand, right? Right? So I would say, just sharing my own, that what I feel is I'm more aware of where my bones are, right? And I think that's because the static, the tension from my muscles is a little out of the way, right? So I'm a little more aware of where the bones of my legs are, where the bones of my hips are, the lower back, the cage, neck, the skull. So see if you can just feel that, just your skeleton, your bones, your innermost, the hardest part of you that's going to last the longest. Go ahead and circle the hips a few times. Not a big circle. We're not doing a warm up. We're doing a circle that hopefully brings our attention to the bones, right? Because you got this really nice clear signal now coming in from the skeleton. And that is an indication that we've kind of let go of a lot of that tension. Take the pelvis the other direction. And we've managed to let go of a lot of that tension that we just carry around with us all the time. And guess what? This way of being is an option for you all the time. Just have to kind of find it. Make sure that you let the shoulders just drop as you're rolling. Nice. Good. Let's leave that alone for a moment. Well done. Good. Speaking of shoulders, take the shoulders in a small circle. See if when you do that, you can feel a small circle, right? It's easy enough to feel the ribs when you make a big, huge circle, right? Now I want you to see if you can feel the ribs in the front, on the back, underneath the armpits, moving and expanding just gently, like fingers, just a little bit of expansion like that. Now go the other way. You can slowly make the circle just a little bit longer, but I don't want you to lose that connection to the movement, the easy movement of the ribs. Feel how when you do that, you make a little more room for the lungs, right? Very nice. Very good. All right, nice. Good. Let's do a little bit of arm movement here. So let's go ahead and swing the arms just gently in opposition. About to shoulder height. We're not even going up and over. Let that movement travel through your whole skeleton. So the pelvis will rotate, shoulder girdle, of course, will rotate, the knees will shift left and right, the weight on the feet and heels will shift left and right. Nice. Let's go a little bit higher, just a little bit, but keep the effort low, right? Good. Now, keep going until the hands can touch at the top. Touch. Let them touch. Keep the connection to the skeleton and the sense of ease as you move, right? So you can find ease even in dynamic, fast movement. It doesn't just have to be lying on the floor. You can find ease and release even in fast movement. Think about the best athletes, Think about Michael Jordan, the way that he would just kind of, almost like he's just releasing across the court, releasing upward. Good. Let the arms swing all the way over in these opposite directions. Good. Reverse directions when you're so inclined. Let it go. All right. Nice. Very good. Letting those arms come to rest kind of by themselves. That's very good. Okay. Very nice. Let's do a little bit of work with the ankles and feet. So first of all, just feel the feet in your shoes. What we've done in the last, 38 minutes or whatever, is we've, like a radar, how a battleship has radar. It's tuning into all the things that are around it, right? So what we've done is we sent the radar out into the nervous system. So now all this information is coming in from the nervous system, where we are in space, how our feet are. There's greater proprioception, greater awareness of the whole body, right? So sense where your feet are. Just send the radar out. How are those feet doing on the floor? See if you can feel the feet not as blocks, but as an assortment of bones that are sensitive and can move relative to the floor, because that's what they are. Now, shift your weight just left and right from one foot to the other. Feel how the feet take weight and how the ankles articulate in this left-right manner. Keep dropping the arms. That's right. Good. We're just doing an easy. See how much, just simple, easy movements, small, easy movements can be really informative once you've kind of dialed up that radar. We're shifting sides, left and right, and letting the feet find their natural bounce. So going to the outside of one foot, outside of the other a little bit. Nice. Good. See if you can find some breath. Just do this. Let the breath drop in. Then it falls out. As we shift sides, let it drop in. Let it fall out as you shift sides. Stay there on one side. Let the breath drop in. Good. Now you got the pattern. Do it at the pattern. Do it at the speed that feels right to you. Good. Good. Next time you're shifting toward the middle, just stay right in the middle with the weight right on both feet. Just feel that nice sense of the skeleton, the nice sense of ease, nice sense of openness. Just generally broaden your expanse out and your awareness out to maybe a tree in front of you, the world around you. You can do it orally with the sound and visually with what you're seeing. Very nice. And we'll call that a day. Thank you very much, Daisy, Tamara, and Gisela. Thank you very much for being here. And tomorrow we'll be back to our old tricks. So please come in. I did send a note out about strength camp that's going to start in a couple of weeks. So if you're interested in that, check your email. It should be in there. Have a lovely day, and I'll see everybody very soon. See ya. Happy Friday.